What up? What up? What up? It is another episode of the Acolyte Roundtable. I am your host, Danny Graham, and I have some of the usual suspects here in the house with me. Starting to my right, your left, it'd be my main man, Mr. Nzo, Big for Entertainment. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Not too bad. What's going on, guys?
All right. To his right is be Mr. Shifty, aka Cobra Commander. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
And making no fuss. And below him is Mr. Warren. Sometimes his takes are good, sometimes his takes are hot garbage. I'm wondering what he's going to talk about tonight. But Mr. Warren, how you doing,
Oh,
sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the wonderful intro, Danny.
All right.
Appreciate it.
mostly garbage, though, Danny. Not garbage.
You guys
Mostly
are.
garbage.
Hey,
Can
you
we?
need some spice on this table, so I'll give it to you.
Okay. And the man in the middle, one of my other streaming buddies, my compadre, even though he likes the wrong team in NFL, but that's okay. He can't be perfect. Mr. Knight, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. I would agree. Warren has a way of mixing some stuff up, but let's not let him take all of the credit because Shifty's here too. So,
Yes.
Yeah, Shifty is his yang, yin to his yang, I guess you could say.
yep, for sure.
And last but not least, Mr. Byron Grizzly, one third of Spoiler Kings. He's visiting us from the windy city of Chicago. What's going on with your boss, man?
Feeling good. Can't wait to talk about this because I want to hear what you guys think about this last episode. Because me and Tank fought.
Mm.
Yeah,
You and
I
Tank,
already
what?
heard what you thought.
You and Tank said what?
we fought about it. Like he
Okay.
loves it, and I
I got you. Okay.
disagree.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and lay the groundwork for you. Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Me and Anzo and whoever chooses to join us. Anzo has on his channel a show called the Watch Party, and we watch it every Tuesday. I look forward to it, man. I was told him last week, man, I'm ready to see it. He's like, I'm not. I was like, what? But anyway, we get into it, and man, show starts off to me kind of fire, and it keeps going and going and going, and it escalates. And in my opinion, it is one of the best lightsaber secrets Disney Plus has ever produced. In my opinion,
hmm
it's me. I could be wrong, but that's my take. I thought the episode was very interesting, very engaging. Does it save this series? No, it does not. But it is a shot of adrenaline, and I am very hopeful that these last few episodes will be a continuation. But I'm gonna put out this disclaimer, and everyone know that watches me knows that I've always said that Disney shows here lately does not stick the landing, in my opinion. So I
Mhm.
hope that this particular show sticks the landing. And to me, it was a lot of positives. A lot of positives. I can't think of any negatives. Maybe one or two little knickknacks. But for me, I love the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Mr. Warren. What were your thoughts on it? What
Oh,
were your positives?
Wait.
hold on. Let me
Uh,
ask the question
go
first.
go
Yes, sir.
Let me ask the
go
question
ahead.
first. You said you loved the show or the episode?
The episode.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
But I
Want to
but I
clear that
don't
up.
hate the show. I don't
I
hate the
got you.
show. I'm not in love with it. I like it. I don't hate it. I'm gonna put that out there too.
Cool.
But go ahead, Warren.
Uh, I liked the episode. I thought it was really good. The thing I liked the most was it's weird. We all thought who it was, but then we didn't want to believe, but it was actually the real guy, which is funny because we normally say, "Oh, it's somebody else." So it makes me question the guy behind the helmet. Of course, I'm talking about because that's who I had originally, but that just seemed too obvious. But that was kind of funny that he was him. I thought the way he described the Sith was good. I thought the fighting was good. I'm surprised that the Jedi have no clue or have no history about what Sith is because George's like, what is a Sith? Like that means that they never even taught them like what it could be, what so that to me was kind of odd. Um I OSHA and May that kind of struggle was good to see. And I'm more intrigued about the Sith character now than ever because I want to know who his master is because he can't be that good without nobody teaching him, right? Unless Soul is his brother. But that's a different thing. So I thought the fighting was good. Um, I like to see a lot of death, so that was good to see too. So,
All
but
right.
I got my other theories later. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Shifty, how'd you like it? Your positives.
Oh, dude, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But first, going off of what he said about Soul and Quymere possibly being brothers, somebody on Twitter posted this Soul stands for sun, and Quymere is close to the word Quamir or Quamar, which means moon in Arabic. So that might be a possible theory there. I love the fight choreography. I thought it was amazing. They were actually trying to kill each other, and you could actually feel it. I mean, I actually think this is the best saber fight since Obi-Wan and Darth Maul went at it in the Phantom Menace. It was just great. That shish kebab move that he did, where he stabbed that one dude and he pulled the other dude onto the back of him, where he did stab two dudes at once. Great. The headbutt move he's been doing to take out the lightsabers, which ties back into the EU. That's great. Jackie being a badass, loved it. I I just can't get over how good it was. The reveal of Quymere when he dipped back into his old persona, he's like, "Hello." I mean, that was great. God, him just killing everybody, and then Soul losing his shit and just started pounding on him. That great episode, man. And then also, this is the big thing here. I keep saying this on Twitter, and I know I got some people here that disagree with me, but they're dancing around if he's actually a Sith or not. Because he actually says, "You might call me a Sith." And in the actual description of his character from the official account, it says that, what he said, that some may call him a Sith, but, they're dancing around it. And at the end of the episode, they played Kylo Ren's theme. So he may be tied to the Knights of Ren, or he may be Ren. So we don't know. Because if you look on Wikipedia and all, they say that the Knights of Ren are not tied to the Sith. They're not tied to the Jedi. They're not tied to the Sith. They're dark side users, but they're not affiliated with anybody. So, that just opens so many doors of where this could go. And Quymere hinting that Soul did something terrible in his past. I guess he's talking about what happened, at the temple. That's building on the mystery. And May, I like how she realized that she couldn't be protected from Quymere, so she flipped sides back again, and it looks like because she did that GI Joe switcheroo with OSHA, that she's going to go and try to kill Soul and get back in good favor with Quymere. So yeah, I loved it, and I like Basil. He picked up on that sense, so who knows what's going to happen in the next episode. But this was great, and I really like that. It was so great that we've had such a wave of positivity on Twitter. I haven't seen this much positive energy from Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, but the Mando season 2 finale, and I'm just blown away with how good it
Weren't
was.
we just doing our overalls?
Yeah, well, Shifty never understands that.
I thought it was positive because the last two
No,
episodes, Danny.
No,
positives.
overall,
You weren't here the first. You weren't here the first. Danny, I mean Chris. Last week, Danny, he went with the positives first, and the week before.
okay, fine, but he said overall.
I didn't catch it. Okay,
Okay,
I know.
good.
it just
It's that damn visor. That damn visor is what's bothering it, man. You can't see anything.
Yeah. Well, I can't hear anything.
Oh, I know.
All right, Anzo, next. What are your overall positives in general?
We're doing overalls or positives?
Okay, go into your overalls.
Overall, like I said, good episode. I mean, god damn, I watched it 3 times. I never watched anything Disney Star Wars.
Ooh.
Oh my lord!
So I actually watched it 3 times, and I'm just looking for something to hate on it. But I mean, there are some things I did dislike, but other than that, yeah, one of the best Disney Star Wars episodes ever. Does it come? You see, the lightsaber battles. Does it compare to prequels? Still no. Does it compare to Qui-Gon and Maul? Doesn't compare to Obi-Wan and and Anakin.
Yeah.
So it doesn't compare to those main ones, but it's definitely up there. It was
I don't think
really.
nothing is going to ever beat that I've seen yet. Duel of Fates. That's just
It's gonna be hard to beat it,
that's going to be hard to beat that. Okay.
but it definitely up there as one of the best episodes that Disney Star Wars has ever created.
Yep.
Gotcha. Byron, your thoughts? You like you chomping at the
I
bit,
disagree
bro.
with all y'all.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
And so everyone's saying it's one of the best Star Wars things that they've seen. No, it's not. It's not better than anything the Mandalorian did in season 1 or season 2. So
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not. And you want to know why? Because the writing is fucking horrible. Everyone is keep on saying all these good things. The lightsaber battle and all the action is peak. It's unbelievable. It is great. I'm not here to argue about that. I'm not here to tell anyone that they're wrong about that. Because what you see as far as the fighting and all the scenes and the death, and it's amazing. It's excellent. The writing is stupid.
I
This
agree.
plain stuff is stupid. And
Yes, 100.
what you're seeing from May and Osha is idiotic. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
I'm gonna turn myself in. Oh, the Jedi are here. Oh, they're gonna try to arrest me. And I said I'm gonna do it. Oh, let me fight them now, and let's fight
I
to the death.
agree.
What
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing? You just said that 3 minutes ago that you're gonna turn yourself in. None of it makes any sense. I don't know what the fuck Osha's doing. And I don't know why she's standing around. I don't understand what people are doing. It doesn't make logical sense. And what happens is we have these great action sequences all over the place, and everyone forgets that none of the words make sense. That's my biggest problem. The writing is terrible. I feel like the action people should be getting all the writers checks. You know, like you ever seen a football game when you like, man, the offensive line need to give the defensive line their checks. They're not holding up their end of the bargain. We have all these good characters. They've done a good job, like kind of putting things together. And every time they open their damn mouth, it's horrible. It doesn't even from episode to episode, it doesn't even make sense. So I don't know why everyone's giving it all these flowers when it's not good.
So
The action is good. It feels like Star Wars, but every time they open their damn mouth, it's stupid.
Let me ask you this, Byron, since you're using the football analogy. So you go
Right.
to a football game and the offense is playing like crap, but the defense is going to town and they win the game. Does that make the game bad?
If it's a
Because the
poorly played
offense.
game, I'm gonna
Look,
tell you like you had a poorly played game.
I'm
Like
saying
you,
the defense.
you might win, but you played poorly. Like I'm going to call you out on it. I'm from Chicago.
Hold on.
The defense always plays well, and the offense plays horribly. So I know it's a poorly played game. And this is what's going on.
Hold on, Warren. Let me just say something real quick
amazing.
before I forget. Let me just say something. I kind of back up Brian because as good as this episode was, Danny was like, I can't wait till next week episode. And I was like, well, I'm still not there because we're gonna go back to like the same boring trash writing again, right? You're gonna have this episode where it's like the action, and then the next episode is just gonna be exposition again, right? There's gonna probably be barely any action in it, and then they're gonna talk, and if the predictions that me and Danny kind of had were correct, then it's just like, well, I mean, what was it all for? You know what I mean? So I don't know.
It's probably going to be a flashback.
Wasn't good. You know?
The problem is I kind of agree with Byron. The thing is, when I watch the Acolyte, I think I'm watching a sci-fi Pulp Fiction because we're getting like a middle, a little bit of
I don't know about
ending.
that.
What I mean is we don't know what the history between Quimir and Soul.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened actually because we only see the fire. We never see what goes down if they ever go back or anything like that. There's a lot of missing pieces in the whole story. And like Soul reveals something. Oh, I'll tell you. It's like we keep getting bits and pieces. We're not getting a full story.
All right. Hold that thought, Warren. Are you finished, Byron?
Yeah, no, to me,
All right.
it's just overall, it's just the writing. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't really fit with Star Wars lore. Overall, it just doesn't. And it seems like someone who doesn't know what's going on is letting things happen. And we're gonna get to the end of this whole show, and everyone's gonna be arguing like that doesn't make any sense. How the hell did any of this stuff happen?
I got you, Chris. Your overall thoughts?
Well, first off, I don't disagree with with those people who think this is poorly written or lazily written. I think lazy is the way that I would put it more than anything. Brian, he's got it. It is kind of hard to take this and put it into Star Wars lore currently because it's early. I mean, we haven't gotten this yet as far as series, movies, anything like that. I know the people out there who love the EU. This has got a lot of EU stuff in the past about that, but they're going with the High Republic. So obviously, this is at the height of the Jedi. And I said this, I think, during the watch party. The height of the Jedi was now, and when we get to the prequels, it was the waning moments of the Jedi and the end of the Jedi, and then we have the resurgence of the good side to balance the light, or to balance the light and dark. And then, well, I can't really justify the Disney sequel trilogy too much, but this kind of plays into lore. It's just we haven't seen it, so it's really difficult to go. And then Shifty said it, and I said it too. He does say you might call me. He doesn't say I am a Sith. So he doesn't identify as a Sith.
But that's like saying I'm colored. But you might call me black.
No, yeah, you might say that, but that's not necessarily how he's saying it. It's you're assuming that that's what he's saying. That I'm a Sith. That's what you can call me. No, I think it isn't that. It's like you might call me that because that's the only way. And this goes against what Warren said. Because that's the only way they would understand. Because yes, these people do know what Sith are. They have been taught about it. It is there. There is a history of Sith. There just haven't been there forever and ever and ever, which is probably why he uses that. He says the only way that these people are going to understand what I might be like or who I am or what I am is if I give them a word that they understand, which is Sith. It doesn't mean, wait. It does not mean that he is a Sith. He is only trying to. No, listen, not necessarily.
He's the beginning of Knights of Ren, and
yeah,
that's what it is. That's technically not Sith. Technically, it is dark side, but it's technically not Sith.
And that's the thing that there are many different users of the Force. Some that aren't fully Jedi; they're just Force sensitive. Some can use different parts of the Force. I think what he's trying to say is I'm going to give you something that maybe you can wrap your head around because while they may not have seen Sith, they probably know about it. It's been taught to them. They have that academy, the Jedi Academy, and all of that. Well, you don't have to believe it, but I almost bet you that's what this is going down.
Show. It's literally in the show.
What's in the show?
What's in the show?
What I'm saying is it's been two instances. You got Yord, you got Mundy. They don't want to admit or they haven't teach these students anything. How does a student
How do you know that? He doesn't show you that they have or haven't. It's because you know it.
What is this? What is Sith? He literally says it. I don't know what that is. He literally
Yord
says
is stupid though. Come on, we know that.
No, Yord's like one of those top Boy Scouts. He's like, oh yes, master. So
I'm just telling you. I believe that they know what it is. You don't have to believe it. I believe they know what it is, and I believe that's why they said it to them. Because wait! I prove it to you. I prove it to you why he would say that. If it didn't matter, if they didn't know what a Sith was, he wouldn't have said it. Because what does it matter then? They don't know what Sith is, so he wouldn't say you might call me a Sith because they don't know what it is. So he would have just said, you don't have words to describe me. That would have been a better thing.
But
no, I didn't validate your point.
You just said
would know what a Sith is.
No. What I said is, if they didn't know, he wouldn't use the word.
But Saul would know what he is, though.
But that means that they're taught. Somebody's taught. Somebody knows the word. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why he uses that. That's why I don't believe he is. Because he is giving them context to what. Well, I'm not telling you guys you're wrong, but you guys are trying to say I'm wrong.
No,
I'm
I
not.
we're not
You
saying you're
aren't.
wrong.
Nobody knows
No,
yet.
we're
I
not
think
saying you're wrong. I'm saying universally, the people that they don't know who. I didn't say you're wrong. I said they don't know who the Sith is. I've been
They
saying
do,
that.
or he wouldn't have used the word.
yeah, I think the
The
big
word
thing is
means nothing.
You
The word means
you wouldn't
nothing to
know me
somebody
either.
who doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, you wouldn't
the
know
So
me.
he wouldn't. Go ahead.
I was like, what you
official
said?
account.
He said you guys wouldn't call me a Sith. Doesn't mean that I am a Sith. Doesn't mean that I see myself as a Sith. But a Sith is something that
He
is out
gives.
there, that's known to be out
Yes, that's
there,
what I'm saying.
looking
You
over
don't
public
tell somebody.
out there.
For instance, if they've never seen a dog and they don't know what a dog is, you don't go like, "That's a dog." If somebody who's heard of a dog, been taught about dogs, but has never seen one, you say, "Well, that's a dog." And so the thing is it's a word that they recognize in some form. They may not understand everything about it.
So if
Anyway,
someone
Or
says,
if,
"What
um,
are you?" So if someone says, "What are you?" Like I said, use example, and I said I'm colored, but you might say I'm black. Does that mean I'm not black?
I
well,
didn't
I
say
think
that.
it's more
It's
like
context. It's what
say
it's meant for.
It's the same
I'm a
context.
wolf, right?
Not
I,
necessarily.
I'm a wolf, right?
Well,
And he goes, you may call me a dog, it's something like that. It's and
But that's
since
not what he said.
no, of course he didn't say he wasn't a wolf, but I mean, I'm just saying, since the official account danced around it too, it's obvious they're playing something else. He ain't a Sith. I mean, the official account would have said, Quaimir's a damn Sith, but they didn't.
all right, let's stop it and we'll go to the next.
Anyways,
What up?
so the fight scenes were on point. It's a little telegraphed, like most of the Disney Plus stuff, because we all saw that. I mean, we didn't. Some of us didn't know exactly who it was going to be, but we knew that we'd already seen the person before, and it makes sense the way they did it. But it was pretty, in Brian's terms, lazy to use him. It was kind of there. So there's some really good things about this. This was the best episode so far, I think, and it was really fun to watch. It moved along pretty well. And the choreograph is some of the best we've seen for a long time. And I mean, there's some really, really good stuff in it.
Okay, next phase, we're going to go to positives. Shifty, what was your positive?
No, I already covered all of them.
Okay, all right.
Moving on.
Anzo, what were your positives in this episode, sir?
The fights were on point. I mean, this episode was pretty much action packed, and it was like we were talking before, and it's like, oh man, this is probably going to be some other flashback. And then the way it started, it made it seem like we were going to not even see the battle because she wakes up and it's like, wait, people are dead, the battle's over. And then she hears the lightsabers in the background, and then you see, and the fighting starts. The choreography for the fighting is great. I mean, pretty much the best parts of this show are the fighting, so I like that.
Okay. Brian, what were your positives?
Just your bad guy's actually bad, and that's good. That means you have a definitive line between who's good and who's bad. So I like that part. And then the fighting. Those are the real things that are really good. Everything else is just, I could complain and not complain about, but at least we know specifically that, we have a bad guy and he's going to be good enough to carry the rest of these episodes. So I'm enjoying that. And all the fighting, they're really obviously are caring about lightsabers and understanding that lightsabers are essential in, and even Force are essential in Star Wars. So it feels like Star Wars. Those things are matter, and that's good.
I agree.
Oh, one more thing that I liked is that someone actually got killed by getting stabbed with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Two people got killed. Well, several
Yeah.
people got killed. There was a part where I don't know about y'all, but it was like, how is he disrupting those lightsabers? Well,
I hated
on
that.
Show, on Storm's Live, that is actually that is actually canon, and I have the information here to pull it up.
It is what?
It's canon.
Yeah, what part of it?
That the metal he used to disrupt the lightsaber. Well, it's in the. It's called cortosis, I think is the name of it. I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. And it said it was a metal that had a very high energy absorption rate and transmission coefficients, which allowed even the energy of a blaster bolt to be dissipated upon contact. It's one of the strongest minerals in the galaxy. Cortosis could even withstand the blow of a lightsaber and briefly short out its blade. So that goes to where we see
But
a lot of
is
cherry
that
picking.
EU? That's
Yes,
EU stuff.
I don't know whether it's
Okay.
EU. I don't know whether it's canon,
ECU,
but
ECU.
Okay, so
like I said, it
but
goes
now
back to
it's
the
canon.
Well, wait, it is canon now.
Yeah,
But
that's what I said.
the point is this goes back to what I've told people who like the EU. I'm never going to argue with the EU people telling me that the characters they use steal from the EU. You know, they're stealing bits and pieces of the EU. They are, but that's the point. They're trying to, whether or not it's ever going to work, they're trying to appease the EU fans by saying, listen, we're giving you stuff from the EU. It can't be exactly like that. It's like a comic book. We know we're never going to get fully comic book accurate movies, but they can give us pieces of it that we're like, oh, hey, that's right. That's exactly how it is.
But George
I
Lucas
think they're
always
just,
said that, though. He said, "What I do is
well,
I cherry pick what I want out of the
yeah,
story."
that's the thing. People seem to think that he said it was canon. It never was. It never
I
was
know, I know.
canon.
Yeah, absolutely,
And
100%.
but exactly, he when he used Coruscant, he was told by people, he's like, in the Thrawn trilogy they make the capital planet Coruscant. Just use Coruscant, get it over with, just be done. And he's like, okay, fine, we're making it Coruscant. So that became canon. That's the thing people need to understand about these things, is that they're trying to bring us new stuff that kind of plays with the EU stuff. They're trying to be, I mean, again, it's not the greatest stuff in the world, but they're trying. You can see when they try, like Danny just showed, that thing right there now makes it canon. That's a cool thing to have.
Yeah.
All
right.
Sorry.
Okay. Brian, were you finished with your thoughts on your likes?
Yeah, so that was my biggest thing. I can't wait to get to the dislikes because I have a specific problem.
Oh wow!
With the episode and with all of it, and I can't wait to talk about it. So yes,
so let me ask this question: where did you change? Because a couple weeks ago you were, you know what I mean? Like you were all over this.
I watch it for what it is, and I keep on saying, "Hey, I'm gonna give another episode. Hey, I'm gonna give another episode. Hey, I'm gonna give another episode." And then I look at it, and everyone's loving it. I'm like, no, look, I'm not in the I hate this camp either. Don't get me wrong. It's just everyone's trying to give his flowers. Like, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, no, it's not.
I agree.
It's not the best thing ever. It is. Look, it's where I was before. It's sometimes it's okay, but the writing has been booty since the beginning. And
I'm gonna go. Yeah,
let's just be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Warren. I'm gonna say one quick thing. I'm gonna go back to what I said a long time ago. I think Nzo and Chris can both back me up on this. YouTube has killed the movie going and the TV watching experience, because now we sit down and we psychoanalyze every aspect of whatever's put in front of us. And I know when Star Wars first came out, nobody did critique, tear this thing apart, not like we're doing it now. I never heard all that. Now they're doing it now, 30, 40 years ago, comparing it to today's Disney Plus, Star Wars, that kind of stuff. But I think YouTube takes some of the fun out of us, because if you just turn your brain off and look at this show, I don't think it's bad. But when you start looking at, like, before I start doing YouTube, I never used to listen to the score and listen to the shots, what angle is shooting at this, the lighting, all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I can't remember what movie it was. I want to think it was maybe Harley Quinn. I took a notebook in the movie theater. I've never done that before. Never.
Sorry.
So I mean, you can laugh because it's funny. And I hear what y'all saying. I don't totally disagree, but I'm not trying to psychoanalyze every aspect of things we see now, because that's going to take the enjoyment out of it. Just from my point of view. But
it's like you can't go from side to side. Like, how about we just let it finish and then I'll tell you if it's good or not.
Well, yeah,
it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, or it's the worst thing since anything I've ever seen. No, it's probably not either. How about we just sit and wait? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything is great. I'm not going to tell you everything is bad, but I'm going to tell you that they have problems, and the problems still exist. So
they got problems, but I think Star Wars fans have been so thirsty for seeing the simple formula, like you said before. You need a space battle, a Sith, a Jedi lightsabers.
Yep.
We ain't seen that in so long at a high standard since, to me, since Revenge of the Sith, that fans are just clamoring for it. We got a little taste of it at the Ahsoka episode in Mandalorian 2, and we definitely get a taste of it. And I thought I thought the pendulum was swinging back the other way to the positive direction when we saw the Luke Skywalker moment. But then they dropped the ball, so to speak. And now we see this right here. And it was like, man, are they going to give us what we want? This episode, in my opinion, they gave Star Wars fans what they want. But I guess you can't have all your
But
cake.
so here's the problem though. Yeah, they gave us that, but like Byron said, the show is still pretty trash. Like the show it's not that good. And I said that like for the first 3 episodes, I like these episodes are boring. I mean, it's not horrible, but they're boring. Nothing's going on. And then they gave us something that happens, and it's like, ooh, you know what I mean? And a lot of people are forgetting that the show was boring, and they're probably going to go back to being boring until maybe the last episode where we have another fight.
Well,
So
I mean,
the pacing is bad.
I got you. I let you go, Chris. Let me go. Let Warren go, and I go to you, Chris. Go ahead, Warren. What are your positives?
Positives was an actual decent lightsaber battles. Reveal of the villain. Finally, a decent reveal of the villain. Some more insight into the character, and yeah, those are really the positives. I do have a little bit more negatives though, but yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Chris. Finish your thought.
So yeah, the lightsaber battles are really good. I do like how, I'm thinking here at parts of it, I'm like, they're not going to kill him. They're not going to kill him. And then they do. And like, for instance, though, I like the fact that this series is kind of getting in more to things that we saw in the prequel trilogy, which is it isn't always hitting the person or swinging a lightsaber at them. Because we used to see elbows, we used to see kicks, we used to see things like that. We saw one kick from Luke in Return of the Jedi, the Force kick, whatever you want to call it. But they don't always use their lightsaber to hit or attack or hurt another person. So when he went around and he got to the backside of what's his name, the one he cracked his neck. I mean, that was like, holy crap! That was really, that kind of gets a little violent. That is not ultra violence like they said in the at the beginning, but it is violent, and I like that they're adding this ability that we saw in the prequels, which is that there's movement, isn't just a lightsaber battle. So there's a lot of aspects to it. So that was really cool. I think I'm going to hold off on that. Although I like it, I will say something on the dislikes about something here in a second. I really do like a bit of Soul kind of losing it and then realizing it. I think that's important to see that, because all of the Jedis we have seen have had that moment. Luke had that moment on the Death Star in Return of the Jedi. The moment when he's like, whoa, wait, I have to stop myself here. I have already gone too far. I know I've gone too far, but I haven't gone so far that I can't come back. And that's an important message in Star Wars, is that these Jedis are not perfect. They aren't. They are held at a much higher standard than most people are, but they are not perfect. So when Saul starts losing it, it is important to see that. And they even point to it and says, hey, that's not very Jedi-like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're right, it isn't. I've got to stop myself. And so that's important, because many of that's a recurring theme. And we saw what happens when you don't stop yourself with Anakin. You see what did happen when you stop yourself with Luke. And that's really important. So I like that was in there. So that's some of the stuff I like.
Soul's gonna regret it. I think we're gonna find out if Soul would have killed this one, then the Sith never would have returned the same way.
Well, again, I don't think he's Sith, but whatever he is, yes, you're possibly right. He's probably going to regret it. But we've also seen that too, because Obi-Wan walks away twice And
when he could have killed
I
Vader.
think he really does regret because he just could never get himself to go there. I mean, look at it. He admits that it's Darth Vader and not Anakin and Obi-Wan. He could have killed him right there, but he's like, you know what? Screw it. Goodbye, Darth. He's like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Next, we're going to go to our dislikes. Shifty, what are your dislikes?
I'm going to say something here, and y'all probably aren't going to agree with me, but the writing of the show kind of reminds me of the
absolutely
Last Jedi.
Wrong.
It kind of reminds me of the Last Jedi, particularly how people were confused by the Poe and Holdo situation and how the writing was really vague. I think that's kind of like how it is for the Osha and May writing in this series because everything revolves around that. And I kind of understand it, but at the same time, it is very vague. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's expanded on enough. And that's what makes it seem bad because I can tell why she's flipping when she does because it's all driven out of fear of her master. Probably in one of the flashbacks, hopefully we'll see that Quimir is a super abusive master and just puts her through the ringer to where, when she was given that opportunity to flip and go to the Jedi, she did that out of fear and knowing that her sister was there. And this episode, when she saw that, he was just wrecking and killing everybody, she knew that the Jedi, wasn't going to be able to save her. So she had to get back on in his good graces or she would die. So that's what I'm thinking. It's just really vague. Really, I don't think it's bad. It's just not expanded on enough. Also, that dramatic pose after she cut her hair, that was a little cringe. I mean, they've cut hair with lightsabers before, but that was a little cringy. I think more than anything, this episode, since it was so good and brought about so much of a positive feeling from the fans collectively on Twitter, at least in my Twitter feed. I landed in a sweet spot algorithm to where I got mostly positive reactions this week. It seems like people were reacting so positively to this episode that it brought about a lot of tribalism from people that don't like Disney Star Wars, where they made that the Star Wars is for everyone video, and that was super cringe. And now we're getting videos of swords professionalists where they're nitpicking the sword fights, and the episode was so good that it's bringing about so much hate and retaliation, and that's what I hate. Like Danny said, that's what YouTube has done to us, and it's bringing criticism in after so much positivity because the people don't want Disney Star Wars to be successful or do anything good. And I don't care if it wasn't flawless. I mean, I just thought it looked cool, and that was enough. And I also hate that Jackie died. I really liked her character. Hopefully they'll use her in like Tales of the Jedi or something later on. But yeah, that's all my.
I hated she died too.
Yeah, that's all my dislikes.
Wait, you didn't like that lovely video that they put out?
No.
I swear that is probably the cringiest thing I've seen any of them do.
And there's people in there I respect, but I have. What are you doing?
I don't have any problems with most of the people in it. It's just the fact that I'm like, was this necessary? I was like, was this necessary?
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
go ahead. So I know you said it's canon. I just don't like the lightsaber and the helmet thing. The stuff with Osha and her sister, again, like we said, you're gonna. So if she was gonna twist up like that, again, why didn't she do that when she first seen her sister? That was my issue. And then all of a sudden now you're gonna twist up, and then when the Jedi come for her, instead of saying, no, I'm gonna surrender or something, you decide you're gonna fight them, right? And then you're going to tell me that the Jedi or these Sith, as powerful as they are, can't realize or feel the sense that the twins have changed? Like they switched who they are? Like you can't see that? And then I have a prediction that, Osha's gonna find out some kind of truth by this dude, and
Yeah.
she's gonna switch, and then
Yeah.
May's gonna find out the truth, and she's gonna
Yep.
switch. So it's gonna be some bait and switch kind of stuff, and I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm not really interested in that, to be honest with you.
I think we've
So
said that.
Why
it
does
might.
bait and switch bother Jedi fans, Star Wars fans so much?
Oh, I don't know about bait and switch if it's that as much as it's already been played once in one of these series. It's just got done with Ahsoka, and Ahsoka basically did a switch. It switched two characters that were lost with two characters who weren't.
Can I
Yeah,
say
and now
something?
it feels like they're gonna do it again. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
just let's get something different in there. You know what I mean? Like the same thing over and
Yeah, we
over
Well,
never
again.
seen two twins in a Star Wars series that flip flop
true.
allegiances.
No, no, they're not. They wouldn't be twins, but we've seen so many flip flops already, right? So now what
Hmm.
they're just doing is they're having two of them, and they're both switching sides. So it's pretty much because they're the same characters, pretty much the same situation. It's just one sister turned bad, and I don't know. It's just weird to me.
It's
I'm
more
not
predictable.
Yeah, but what I'm
Than the
saying is,
and
if
predictable. Yeah,
they're
they start off
predictable.
from the beginning of the show and they build these characters up, and one is traditionally good. I mean, they build her up from the ground up is good. Then one traditionally is bad. They build her from the ground up as being bad. But something so catastrophic happens that they switch roles and get a whole new outlook on what they were taught their whole life. Wouldn't that be an interesting story to see? And what was the catalyst that made you go from being inherently good and inherently evil to the opposite, the total opposite?
but isn't that Darth Vader's story?
I mean, it is.
Mm,
So it's not even an
You
argument.
know,
It is.
Um,
Same
so
thing
we've
I
with
have
seen
an
it
answer
already.
for you though, and I think I said this when we watched it. It's quite possible because of the way that the twins at the beginning of this, or when we first saw that backstory, they said two is one. That quite possibly to force sensitive people, they their aura,
We'll be
for
right
lack
back.
of a better term, their aura could be identical because they have as much light and dark within each other, which is again would go back to why they might switch, is that they're both so fundamentally the same within each other. Because if they were made by magic, they have got to, that they quite possibly are just the same type of person enough that they can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
I
but that
won't
shouldn't
disagree
matter
with you.
because one went to the dark side and one went to the light side. So it's more about feeling the presence that's inside of them and not just, oh, that they're the same people.
Unless they have equal amounts of that vibe in them, that it's only when they act it out that it's obvious that they are that. When they don't act out, it's equal inside of them. So again, same aura. Even if they are on the dark side, you don't know it for sure because it's the same aura because they have that equal side. But I agree with you. Okay, I will not disagree with you. It is really kind of that is the linchpin and the weakest point of this episode is the fact that she just cuts her hair and it's like, okay, I can go and they're not going to know a thing.
We
I agree
assume.
with you.
I
We
well,
assume.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
that's true.
say one thing. I think what really kind of makes me step a little bit back for the show is that these are literally brand new characters we're dealing with. No backstory, like this is Soul is new, all these characters. So we're giving this new lore with nothing to have like prior to look at or anything, and it's kind of like, and the way they're telling the story, kind of now I can see, now I get what Brian is saying, because it's like, well, if they're not telling they can't tell the story good because these are new characters, and now we got to go through eight episodes and learning these new characters, and it's all wishy-washy all over the place. It's kind of hard to do that because we don't know, like you if you look up Soul, it's probably first, it's probably now being put into something in a Wikipedia or something like that. We don't have no
Mhm.
idea of any of these characters, so I think that hurts the show a lot that there's no one with any familiarity in here. This is like the first
Mhm.
Star
See,
Wars show with no familiarity.
Well,
you
the
see,
Green
I don't
Lady.
think that I don't think that's a bad thing though. I just think they don't give you enough to care about these characters. You know what I mean? Bad writing to where it's like I don't care about what happens to Osha or May because they're trash characters. You know what I mean? They have the Jedi doing things that are not Jedi stuff, so you can't really feel for them because there's no nostalgia there because they feel like the bad guys. So that's what the biggest issue is. You can do something with brand new characters. That's not a problem. You just got to do it where it's entertaining enough to be like, okay, I feel these characters, and they're not doing that in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody's going with their dislikes.
No, I haven't done it yet.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't gone.
Go ahead, Warren.
Oh, dislikes is the dynamic between Osha and May. It's very stupid. It's been convoluted. It's first I was on it, and then it's like okay, and also the Jedi too. Like Jackie just starts to attack her, and doesn't even say anything, so that plays into it. Like these people don't know what they're doing. Soul is like is kind of shifty and shady with his information because clearly this man has done some dark stuff. So that makes me look at him kind of sideways. The other thing is that the I guess you could see this as a positive negative. The only most compelling character was the Sith guy or the
Yeah,
pretend Sith guy. That's
I agree.
that is really bad if that's the most compelling person throughout the entire episode. So those were
I
my
agree.
major dislikes.
Oh, I just had one more dislike. Sorry, I think that they choreographed who the Sith guy was going to be in the last episode, and that was an issue. I thought they could have did a better way to hide who that person was going to, who that Sith was going to
Yeah.
be. That's all.
I agree.
They kind of did that in episode 2 because he was doing
Yeah.
kung fu in the second episode. So
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking
Okay,
it.
Go ahead, Warren. I mean, Byron. I'm sorry.
So I have once again in this entire show, you can see the two characters that the whole show is revolving around is Osha and May, right? And they're probably the least interesting characters, and they can't carry a show because we don't know anything about them. There's no character development. Everything about them is almost silly. They just really aren't developing these characters, and then they expect them to carry the show. Just like you guys kind of eloquently spoke about. I mean, the only thing that's really good is like the bad guy's bad, and he's good at being bad. But the good people aren't really that good, and they keep on effing up too. So it's so hard to even enjoy watching it all because they're not doing a good job in storytelling. It's like storytelling 101. They're not following those things. So once again, I'm blaming the writers on those things. Then the most compelling, like I like Jackie. I didn't like Yord, but so now all the characters that we spent the last 4 or 5 episodes learning. So now we have to relearn new people, right? So something's going to happen now.
Byron, you're not going to come on here and be dead down.
All the killing is like is holding it, but when you do it in episode 5, you have 3 episodes to kind of go. And
I have an answer for that too, though.
Byron, let me say one thing quick. You're not going to come in here and make sense about bad stuff with Star Wars, okay?
No, you're right, though.
Don't come in here and make sense about bad stuff Star Wars is doing. I don't want to hear that.
I don't understand what
I can make point. I can tell you why that was done. Because they already knew when they were getting in here, they're like, we can't end all these people's stories, or we can't tell all these people's stories, or keep writing for all these people. What do? Kill them off. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Boom. Done.
That's fine, but do that episode 6, episode 7.
Well,
I don't mind them killing everybody except the young Padawan. They should have kept her.
So like, there's nothing going for us. I thought that was bad. As I said, but once again, Osha and May just aren't good at what they're doing, and a lot of the stuff they're doing is cringy and just looks stupid, And I was hoping that they were going to do something with the mothers, something like that.
They might still,
maybe, but that's why this is not the end. What do I have a problem with right now? It's just the writing. I think the writing is holding it back because the action is good. I
Are you
with
gonna
the
watch?
storyline. Like,
You
but
gonna
the
watch the last
writing,
two episodes, Brian? Or are you giving up?
I don't know. I'm gonna watch them, and I'm gonna. I don't like hate watching because I don't hate what I'm seeing. I'm just when everyone is saying this is so good, it's not that it's so good. It wasn't so bad for the first beginning, and this is not so good. It's just better than it was before.
But
Episode 3 was awful.
Can't two things be true? Two different things be true?
No, it's probably somewhere in the middle.
No, it's just like you
That's
said,
kind of my
Chicago.
point. It's
Your
probably
your
somewhere in the
defense
middle.
team is good, but your offense is crap. Those
So
are two
the
different
team is
things, but they're
probably
true.
somewhere in the middle.
No, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying. Somebody can say, man, the lightsabers was good, and this episode was good compared to what they've seen in the previous
But they're not saying that. They're saying that the entire episode is good. And then my point is still,
Mhm.
it's not the entire episode that's good. There's parts of this episode that's really good. There's parts of these episodes that are really bad. So I'm still in the middle.
Okay. All right, Chris, your
Yeah.
brief.
I agree that the switcheroo at the end is kind of, I don't know. One of the biggest problems is they went too far, too long after that happened. If they shown her cut her hair off and ended it, I would have been much better with it right now, because that gives us kind of a cliffhanger of what's going to happen. But no, they had to go just a little bit longer, and I hate that. It's like it should have ended there.
I agree with that.
Because we don't have to see OSHA again. We don't have to see OSHA again to know that switcheroo is going to happen. So
And
there
to
was
your
no
point, Chris,
need. Yeah.
I don't think they should even let us know that switch happened and then find out in the later episodes.
Yeah, they should have flashback that switch.
That's true. That's true. That would have been good too.
Let me say
That
one
requires
quick
good writing, guys.
They should have OSHA. We think OSHA doing something, and she does something totally out of character, and then we found it's May. Then they flash back and show us where May did the lightsaber cut, haircut, and stuff. That would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, Chris.
Yeah. That's like my biggest problem. It isn't so much the switcheroo, or are they going to know that the switches happen? It's just, why show us another 5-10 minutes? So there's
Let me play
that.
devil's advocate though on that.
What?
Let me play devil's advocate. That's a good
Mhm.
point. But then, how do they know what they're going to pick and choose what they show on camera and off camera? Because they got crucified by showing the Wookiee's death off camera, and then now when they show something on camera, they're getting crucified. So it's kind of like, dang if you do, dang if you don't.
So
And
I think that's
death,
just
show it.
it's different.
If it's not death, you don't have to show it.
Well, I think it's a narrative thing, right? Everybody was waiting to see that Wookiee with a lightsaber fight, and then you take it off. But
yeah, they kind of just threw that out.
To have that
Well,
part
not
with
really.
May, it's more of a mystery. You know what I mean? So that's something you could have hid from people and put more suspense into the show.
Can I touch on some?
Let Chris finish, and then you get the full next.
Well, he can go really quick.
All right, go.
Okay. I think the reason why they ended it like they did is because the next episode is probably going to be the second flashback episode. Because if you look at the episode order, we've had 2 episodes, breaking those 2 up, and then there'll probably be 2 episodes to finish off the series. I think this one's going to be called Fate. They're probably going to show it from the other side this time, so it's probably going to be flashback. That's why they ended it like they did.
How do you get the name of these episodes so before everybody else?
Because the last flashback episode was called Destiny, so I'm thinking the other flashback will be called Fate.
Maybe. But that still doesn't make any sense. Again, they could still do that without showing the last 5 minutes of her walking with Saul. It's like, what did that have to do with anything? Because if they had shown him kind of with an inkling that they knew, that he knew that it wasn't her, fine. But no, it's like it just didn't need to go that far. Anyway, okay.
Hold on, Chris. Let me say something. Here's what I think they could do to fix it. If they show that Soul actually knew that like he's like, I know you're not OSHA or something like that. If later on they show that, then I'm like, okay, so at least he knew, and maybe he's doing it because he wants to actually show her the truth. And I guess you can explain maybe the Sith wanting an apprentice so bad that he didn't realize it. So they can fix it in a way, but I just found it weird that they did it like that. That's all.
Well, also he needs to know where their home base is, because he's probably figuring that Osha's with Quaimir now. If he thinks he's still alive, so he's got to interrogate her.
Yeah, I mean, I've already brought up a lot of issues with getting to the ship. The other thing is getting to the ship. And this goes back to, again, that Sith thing. If he were a Sith, and that whole line that the Sith haven't been around for blah 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 blah, if they get to the ship, they can send a message now. So I'm not sure again that he's really a Sith. They just should have ended it right there. And anyways, that's my biggest one. But I mean, again, that goes back to lazy writing, or the inability to write something and know here's the perfect point to stop, and that allows us to, going to Danny's point so many times, piggyback off of the last episode. We see that happen, and now we can piggyback, and then now you're not sure, is that Osha or is that May, because you don't know. I mean, maybe, but that goes back to the writing. It's people need to understand, stop. Here's where we stop, or here's where we pick back up. Here's where we do a flashback. Here's where we show who the bad guy is, and we don't need to hint at who the bad guy is ahead of time. It's all that stuff that it is very much just a problem Disney Star Wars has, and it isn't necessarily always very apparent in every episode they do, but when it does show up, it glares that they don't understand how to write all the time.
It's writing 101 though, and they don't follow
it is
the key things. Like when you go to school, they teach you certain things, like how to make things interesting. This is how you do drama. This is how you set things up, and you do this way. They don't follow it.
But Brian, one thing they do too, I've never been to a rat school, but I'm assuming, and you correct me if I'm wrong, they do teach you to research your material that you're going to write on, right? They don't do that in Star Wars. So that's why some of these stories is being disjointed, because we've seen, I forgot who showed the clips, but they showed like writer after writer after writer. They told them, don't read the book, don't read this, don't do that. So you're not going to have something that is very easy to follow, or something that is going to be in the lore if you're being told at the beginning of the process, don't research, don't do nothing. You just write what I tell you to write, or write what you think might work. And if you're not writing, if you're writing in the blind, it's not going to be cohesive. It's going to be disjointed, and I think that's what we're seeing. Okay, predictions. We're going to go around predictions. What do you think is going to happen, Byron?
I love the line that Kamir said. He's like, rules, rules, rules. If you never follow them, you never have to break them. And what we're going to find out in the next episode, that everyone else has broken the rules, and because they're Jedi, there's going to be consequences to them. So we're going to find out that Soul broke the rules, right? And he did stuff that they weren't supposed to do, and that caused this whole fire and all this stuff. Everyone's going to find out. All the dirt's going to come out, and it's going to throw a monkey wrench into what everyone's doing. And May and Osha are going to switch sides. And my hope is that they don't forget that you need action and writing. And don't give me bad writing and bad action. You need to give me good action and good writing. If they do both of those things, we'll get to the end and we'll be like, okay, at least that was a decent episode, a decent show. But I'm not gonna hold my breath because Kathleen Kennedy is the producer, and I'm just not with her.
Gotcha. Chris, what are your predictions?
Yeah, I mean, again, they're obviously going to do this switcheroo thing, but we're right back to, like I said, the Ahsoka thing has happened. Ahsoka switched the roles of Ahsoka and Sabine with Thrawn and Ezra. And they're doing it here too. So it isn't a problem with the switcheroo. That's not necessarily the problem. The problem is maybe how you do it, or I don't know how you do it, So, but my predictions is that I have a feeling that a lot of what we're going to get, we're still not going to know for sure. One dislike that I forgot to say was definitely the fact that I think Byron said it with regards to the Jedi. The Jedi don't feel like Jedi. They're more mindful normally. They're more thought driven. And in this, they're kind of like absent-minded 90% of the time. And then, like the green lady, the way she comes across when they were in those scenes is she kind of felt like she had a mean spirit about her, like just she's pissed off or something. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite like the Jedi Order did in the prequels. So I think that's a problem with it. But yeah, I think what we're going to get is a lot of misdirection. We're going to definitely see two more stories. One where Soul tells May that it wasn't their fault or something like that, and where Osha hears that it was Soul's fault or he did something. And I'm not sure if I'm going to believe it yet, because that's a classic thing, is to tell the story from a certain point of view. So we're still getting certain points of view. So that's what I think. So I'm not going to buy in right away. We're on episode 6 and 7 are coming up. So 6 and 7, I think we're going to get two different sides of this story again, and 8 is where all the truth's going to come out.
All right, Warren, what are your predictions?
Predictions is Soul did some dirty stuff in the background. We're gonna find out that the Jedi have been doing a lot of dirty stuff in the background. I think that's what so far that's what I've been kind of preaching. The double agent thing is kind of weird with the bait and switch, which I kind of called that a little bit last week, but not fully. So I believe that May is gonna. I keep confusing the names, but the good one's gonna be bad, and the bad one's gonna stay good. It's kind of
Osha
weird.
is good. May is bad.
Yeah, they're gonna switch by the end of this whole show, and we're gonna find out that the High Council is the real cause of not being more careful of the Sith, and that guy, we're probably gonna get a master reveal, because because he says, I was looking for an apprentice, and even every Sith Lord, even the Ruler 2, they always had a pupil, an apprentice. So we're gonna get a master reveal. That's my
Maybe, but that's because you think that he's a Sith.
but I mean, he wants an apprentice, though. That's
That doesn't mean he's a Sith, though.
He could be creating the Knights of Ren, and he ends up recruiting 4, and now he has which are totally different, and he ends up getting the Knights of Ren. And that's
my theory has always been, since they've started these TV series, is it was Dave Filoni's way of trying to talk Kathleen Kennedy into slowly injecting the stuff that George Lucas did that people liked into Disney lore, so somewhere in the middle they could all meet. And he's hoping that he can find a cohesive happiness. I'm not saying he's going to get it. So I do subscribe to the Knights of Ren theory, that this is either Ren and he's starting the Knights of Ren. Because here's the thing, you got to remember, we didn't really get that backstory that they promised us in that sequel trilogy. So this again could be the penance where they're going to say, let's give them the beginnings of that backstory.
okay. Well,
You feel
I will. Yeah, that's like I said. The last thing I'm gonna say is that we're gonna get a master reveal. I think that will tie in a lot of stuff. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
All right, Shifty, what are your predictions?
I think the master is going to end up being Coral, because we still don't know where she is. She wasn't there with the other bodies, and she's going to come into play at some point. And to entertain my theory from last week about Soul being the baby daddy, that would be like the one thing to flip May over to his side if he told her that, because she's trying to kill him, get back into good graces with Quymere, and if he revealed something like that, she'd be like, oh wait, hold on, what? I still don't know what Quymere would reveal to May, and even if I would believe that, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
You're still on that baby daddy thing?
I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I never was fully behind it, but I mean, that's.
Wait. Your theory that you were so invested in, you weren't behind it. You weren't fully into it.
I've had two theories. I've had two.
You've
theories
had a million theories. You're almost as bad as LDG.
I've had two theories. The first week, it was Soul is the big bad because everything pointed to him back then. Everything. Now, I was just thinking about, all the other reasons that there is that you could possibly tie him to being the daddy if they wanted to do that. But, I'm not too sure they're going to do that. So, I mean, it's still up in the air.
Right now for Quymere to be the father. Quymere, yeah, he should be the father. Possibly, and I'll tell you why. Because somebody pulled a screen cap from the ceremony, and there was a dude or somebody in the background with a hood on, in the background of that ceremony. So it could have been Quymere. Quymere could have been there the whole time.
This is shades of WandaVision.
It is. Shifty, I want you to call a doctor and have an ambulance on standby, please.
I'm fine.
Yeah. LDG said the same thing.
But I'm not.
You woke up in the hospital. IVs on. You finished, Shifty? You finish your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What about the grades?
Not yet.
Okay, we usually do grades before, but I was just
settle down. Settle down there.
Hasn't had a chance to tell his predictions.
I know.
Okay. We'll get there.
Predictions.
Who, me?
Yes.
Like I said it, I think the twins are gonna switch. One's gonna be evil. The one that's good is gonna turn evil. The one that's evil is gonna be good. I do hope that there is no other flashbacks episode. We don't need to see that. You don't have to have a full. You don't need to have a full episode to explain to us what happened. So I don't want to see that. That's going to ruin the momentum for me. But yeah, other than that, I think I do think there is a master. I do agree. There's someone else behind the scenes. So I do agree with that, and I do think that the twins are going to switch places. Now, what happens after they switch places, I don't know. Will they get redeemed? Will they have to fight Well, they probably won't have to fight each other, but they probably won't fight each other. But will they get redeemed? Will they both go to the dark side? Will they both become good? It's hard to say. I think they all should die, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, there is a flashback coming because it showed Kelnaka fighting Torben, and that's the one everybody's waiting on to see that Wookiee fight. So,
yeah, but it doesn't mean it's a full episode of a flashback, though.
Well,
I got a strange one that's part there. I think it's two masters. I think it's the Horn Lady, and I think it's Trinity, and I don't think Trinity's dead. And the reason why I think that he even knew anything about the Sith is that Trinity heard about it. Maybe she found it in a holocron, maybe she found it in the Jedi library or something, and then her and some kind of the Horn Lady made a connection, and then they recruited this guy here now, Quamir or whatever. So I think it's two masters. I think Trinity, and maybe they are starting to form this Knights of the Ren. I don't know, or maybe he's going to break off from them. But I don't know why, but I keep thinking Trinity is not dead. So I'm thinking maybe Trinity and his Horn Lady is working together because maybe Trinity got filled up or start feeling herself about the Jedi and this kind of stuff. I just don't think she's dead, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before plenty of times, but that's my prediction. That there's two masters. They're working together, Trinity and the Horn Lady along with Quymere. So we're gonna go around with our grades, and we're gonna start off with Mr. Knight. What is your grade?
My grade for this is a solid B+. I don't think it's perfect. I think the fighting makes up for a lot of the questionable writing and stuff, as Ryan was saying. But I think it's a B+, and I think it's a positive step to see that they might actually be able to pull off some better like lightsaber battles. And going to what I can't remember if it was Shifty or who it was that mentioned that people are out there like swordsmiths are going out there and actually critiquing this. They did that with the prequels, but the thing is the prequels brought those people in. Perhaps if they don't want to hear that stuff, or perhaps if they want to get better, well, this was a lot better. If they brought somebody in who really knew that and said, here, we're going to train the people who are going to have a lightsaber or going to need a lightsaber fight. We're going to train them 3 months before we start shooting. We're going to really run through these paces to learn how to properly stance and do things like that. They could do that still. I don't think that'd be a stretch, but this one wasn't horrible. I mean, I'm not a professional sword fighter, so I can't tell you, where they got it wrong. But I can tell you, I'm not surprised that somebody could pick it apart. But it looked good. It looked good, and it was fun to see. It was better that they did that. I think that them going out and saying we need to do this a little more, it was a smart move. So there's some positives going forward that we're more than likely, since we're 3 episodes away from the finale, that either in 6 or 7 we'll get a little more, but in 8, I'm almost wondering how much we're gonna get because 8 could be almost like the final scene against Maul, because it's 30 minutes. That scene, if I remember right, the Maul scene, and Anzo, I'll take your word over mine, but it was like 23 minutes, wasn't it?
Which one?
The Maul fight was like 23 minutes. And I know there's cuts and stuff in it, but they could definitely fill almost a whole episode on a fight, on 3 or 4 or 6 Jedis going at it all at one time, and that would be amazing. But we'll see.
All right, Warren, what's your grade, sir?
I'm gonna go with C plus. I'm sorry, I just really can't give this show more than a C.
What?
I can't.
No. You saying one thing and then you grade a different way. But you come here like it's better than sliced bread, and now you're giving it. Now you're giving it not even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You're giving it just a peanut butter sandwich.
Okay, it's a C
Ain't nothing wrong
plus
with peanut
at
butter
best.
sandwich.
I'm sorry. I just there's a lot of when I hear the points from Byron and I hear the points from other people, I was like, okay, well, I was gonna lean to a B minus, but I gotta go with C plus, man. I can't. Maybe next episode will change that grade, but C plus.
Okay. Shifty, what are your grades, sir?
About as close as you can get to A plus without getting to A plus, about A, solid A. I loved it. And I really loved it. And I can't say that about many episodes. I mean, all the way around. Like this was great. I mean, I loved Andor, but this felt like Star Wars.
Was better than Andor?
No, it's not better than Andor, but it felt like what I want from Jedi related Star Wars, because the fights had emotion to it. You could feel like they were actually trying to kill people, and I loved it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Nzo, what's your grade, sir?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to give it an A. I give this episode an A.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I really enjoyed. Like I said, I enjoyed the episode, and people are going around and they're saying, "Oh, they want to break down the fighting, and he could have died like 20 times." Well, I can name you some Bourne movies where they should have died 10 times. I could have give you some John Wick movies where John Wick should have died like 50 times. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get stuff like that, and that's the nitpicking shit that bothers me, right? When you're like, "Oh yeah, well that's a nitpick." You know what I mean? There was something else they were complaining about too. And I'm like, if that's all you have to complain about, then this is the cutting of the hair part. Yeah, it was stupid, 100%. But if that's all you have to complain about, then the episode did its job. It was a good episode. If that's that's what you're complaining about, then you're just looking for things to complain about. But it's a A for me for this episode.
Okay. Usually you're supposed to end on a positive note, but I know Byron is not going to give it nowhere next to A, so I'm going to go next. I'm going to give this a B plus. I can't give it an A. Well, let me give this B plus, A minus. It's in that range. I want to lean more toward my heart leaning towards A-, my head leaning toward B+. But it's somewhere in there. I'm very happy with it. To me, it is one of the better episodes that Disney Plus has produced since they've been in its inception. So I'm definitely happy with it, and that's the grade I'm going to give it, somewhere in that range. Okay, we're going to end on a negative note. Brian, go ahead.
Nah, I'm gonna give it a C because that's what it deserves. Good action, terrible writing. C. Like, the only thing I'm arguing with you guys is that you guys are saying it's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, it's not. It's literally not.
No, it's
So
the best
this
thing
is
Disney
in
Star
writing.
Wars has done.
Guess what?
This
It's
is
a Star Wars thing. It's not. It's just not. It's terrible writing. It's
okay, we
great.
agree that there's a
C.
difference between George. Hold on, real quick. We agree there's a difference between George Lucas Star Wars and Disney Star Wars, correct?
No, I 100% agree. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I think Mandalorian's better.
what we're saying,
Mandalorian's better. I think
there's
there's many episodes of Mandalorian has been better. Many.
I think this is one of the better Jedi action scenes that Disney Plus has ever produced.
Okay, that's very you're breaking it down more and more and more. But if you're going to take Disney Star Wars that Disney has done
my opening monologue, that's what I said.
Mandalorian is better.
There's only one episode in Mandalorian that's better than this one, and that's the Luke Skywalker one. Other than that, there's not. Sorry.
All season one of Mandalorian was great.
All season one was just side quest after side quest. Season 2 was even more side quest. Nah, bro.
And this had no writing that made sense. So, like, come on.
Mandalorian had wood. Mandalorian had a wood pirate ship in it, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, hey, to Byron's point here, I think he's right in what he's saying, because this is almost like, here's what it was. The teacher's sitting there, and what happens is the student gets up, does the oral presentation, and because of the way they do the oral presentation, they're like, well, it's good that you can do that because I read your report. It sucks, but I'll give you a C because the oral presentation was best, or the actual, presentation, like with props and stuff, was the best thing. Great, good job. But this sucks. Your writing here was horrible, so I can't give you an A. I'm gonna have to give you a C. I mean, I get it. I see that. I think the action and some of the stuff that happened though pushed it a little farther than that. So that's okay. But hey,
I respect it. I really do respect what you guys are saying, but understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. I actually listen to what's going on. I actually listen to what everyone's saying, and how character development goes. Some of the stuff doesn't make sense. That's all.
You're right. I mean, no, I'm just messing with you, but your points are very valid, even though I don't really like them because I like Star Wars so much. But I can't sit here and deny. I'd be a fool to sit here and deny that what you're saying is not true or does not hold water. But like I said last week, I'm like Richard Gere on the Officer of the Gentleman. I got nowhere else to go. So I got to be here with Star Wars. But having said that, I thank you all for joining me this week for this episode. We'll be back next week, same bat time, that channel. Before we got to hear, I'm gonna go around the panel and let everybody shout out their channel. If they got anything going on, let the people know. I'm gonna start with Mr. Warren. You go first, Warren. What's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Just life and Twitter. That's where you can find me.
All right, good deal. Mr. Shifty, how about you, sir?
You can find me also on Twitter. I don't advise it, though.
Okay. Mr. Byron the Grizzly, where can people find you at, sir?
Yeah, I'm on Spolierkings. We're doing a giveaway this week. I've been trying to get this giveaway going, but I was at Disney. So we're going to give all this stuff away. I got about 10, 12 items because, I got a lot of crap that we're going to get out this week. So
good deal. Good
See
deal.
you guys.
Oh, looks like I'm going to have to come win some products. No, seeing as that I didn't get nothing sent to me for my birthday, you know what I mean?
Oh my God! My birthday was 13 days before.
Is that Riddler?
Yours? My birthday was there.
Was that Riddler thing gonna be one of the prizes?
No, never.
Oh Lord!
I like the beast back there.
Mr. Knight, tell people they can find you at, sir.
Real Review 3000, Chaos Central, Hunstar YT. And jumping on these streams. Trying to be on the watch parties, all that. Got lots of stuff going on, but I do like doing this stuff with you guys, and no matter what our opinions are, there are our opinions, and it's fun to discuss them and hear different things. So we'll find out. I mean, three episodes away. We'll see what happens. But I'm glad that we're this far along, and we're still having really decent conversations. Near the end of She-Hulk, we were having some problems. You know, it's like some of these series are just, oh wow, okay, we got to keep talking.
Yep, you are correct on that. Mr. Nzo, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Bring forward entertainment. You guys know where to find me. That's all.
Turn 36 today.
Yeah. Well, on Thursday I turned 36. You know,
I got you.
I'm getting up there with you old farts, but I'm still young.
There, man. And I'm going to do a plug. Fredo J is a friend of the channel. I stream with him some. He streams with all of us from time to time. I know me, Nzo. He also streamed with Chris from time to time. He did a comic book, and I bought one. His comic books. There's a cover there. It's called Ninja Blast. He wrote it. This is the cover that Rob Storm from Storm's Live designed and draw. I got it in the mail yesterday. It is an awesome story, man. So if you can go online and support Fredo J, if that's something you feel the need to do, the story is good. The artwork, everything is good. He says he's working on on the second book, the second edition. So definitely check it out, man. It's called Ninja Blast. It's a very cool story, man. And I, of course, am Danny Graham. You can find me on my channel, The Road to Wisdom, on Monday mornings, Wednesday mornings, and Friday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. Also, you can find me on Storms Live on Sundays before this show. Me and Nzo do a show every Tuesday night called the Acolyte Watch Party. We have a good time there, man. To hang out. From time to time on OOC. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I go on the spolierkings. So I try to be everywhere, try to be very, I guess, what's the word I want to say? Everywhere at one time. Omnipotent, I guess. But definitely enjoy this. This was, to me, one of the best episode of this series. I hope the last will be the same, but I have a saying, Disney Plus does not stick the landings on a lot of their shows. I'm really hoping that they stick the landing on this show. So, having said that, please check us out next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. And I'm pretty sure some of us going to watch House of the Dragon and some of us going to watch Interview with a Vampire. I think those are two fantastic shows. So make sure you go check them out. Nzo, make sure you go check that out. No, it's not Kaka. It's not Kaka. No.
House of the Dragon is baller. It's a banger.
Yep. I'm going to watch it right now, buddy. Outstanding. And of course, okay, Nzo, he liked The Boys, so go check The Boys out as well. They come out on what? Is it Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights?
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Act like Tuesday nights. And Sunday nights, of course, is Interview with the Vampire and also House of Dragon. So you got a lot of good content to watch on TV. So until then, take it easy, peace, and we'll see you next week. Later.
Yes.